Atkinson. I'm a child therapist and founder of confidentchildren.co.uk. We don't want to simply sit in a room with a child and get them to repeat sounds because that's boring. You need to be very creative. So as a key worker, you need to just think about what the child's interests are and adapt the shaping technique to their interests. So I'd like to share with you some ways that I've utilised shaping to hopefully inspire you with children that you're working with. So my first example is recently I was working with a group of children of reception age, and one of the children in the group had selective mutism. So we were simply just playing in the playground, and one of the children came up to me with a cone and she was pretending it was an ice cream. So we were playing this role play game and everyone had a cone pretending they had an ice cream, and then I said, "Oh, I'm the shopkeeper," and I got the cone and I went zzz, like that. And then one of the children said, "Oh, I want to be a shopkeeper." So I said, "Oh, okay," and that child went zzz. And then another child said, "I want to be a shopkeeper," and she's also replicated that sound. Zzz. Now the children were all repeating this sound, and then that child with selective mutism did repeat the sound, so she said zzz. So that was the first time that she had verbalised in front of me. Another example is my work with a child who is 8 years old, and this was on a one-to-one basis. So I knew that this child loved fairies. So what I did is I made up some fairy language. So I wrote a list of phrases and the corresponding fairy language. So "how are you" was ch-ch-ch, and "I'm fine thank you" was t-t, and "hello" was s. So this child got so involved, she absolutely loved it, and we were actually having a conversation in fairy language. So the child was really enjoying herself, and it wasn't about making the sounds, but it was about the excitement of the activity. So that's what we really want to do when utilising shaping. We want the child to really enjoy themselves and have fun. Another game you can play is a game called Copycat. Now this is particularly useful for younger children, and within this game the child simply copies you. So I start off with sounds like just clapping, maybe tapping the lap, tapping the head, and then I'd gradually move on to verbal sounds, so then blowing, and then maybe ch-ch-ch, and so on. So you're actually effectively moving through the hierarchy. Again, don't move on to a sound until the child is completely comfortable with the current sound. A similar game to this is a game I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, called Simon Says. So the way I've done this in the past is I've told the child the command word and I've given it a corresponding sound and action. So for example, I've said, when I say Simon says storm, you go shh. Or if I say Simon says rain, you go t t t t t. Or even animal noises, so if I say Simon says lion, you go rah. Or Simon says cat, meow. You know, so you can make up a variety of different sounds and labels, and the child is actually playing a game with you, but they're starting to make sounds. Another way that you can utilise shaping is simply reading a storybook to a child. So what I've done in the past is I was reading an animal book to a child and I stopped on the word bear and I broke the word down, so I slowly said b-air, b-air, and then I said b, and then the child for the first time verbalised b, and then I said air, air, and then the child for the first time verbalised air. And we continued doing this until I was saying b-air, b-air, the child was repeating until eventually they said the word bear. And then I moved on to all the animals in the book. So that was a really nice way to utilise shaping as well. So the main message I'd like you to take away from this video is to be very creative when utilising shaping. Make it really enjoyable so that the child is actually having fun. I hope this video has been useful. If you'd like to stay up to date with my work, please like the Confident Children Facebook page. The link to that is below this video. Thank you very much.